During my hiatus, I got countless of comments recommending this new tool called AutoGen. I was confused until I did some research, and I gotta say, I have not been this surprised since seeing the rise of ChatGPT. AutoGen is a project developed by the one and only Microsoft, which enables the next generation of large language model applications. You're basically given the ability to create as many AI agents as you want and have them collaboratively work together. Now, this is quite remarkable as it offers a conversable agents that are powered by different large language models, tools, or as humans, and it can be used to perform tasks collectively via an automated chat. Now, this framework allows the tools to be used as well as for humans to participate through a multi-agent conversation. Now, the great part of AutoGen is that it's practically an architecture that can be built upon further, which allows you to be able to customize it further and allow you to work with different types of agents. Now, throughout today's video, we're going to be taking a look as to what AutoGen truly is about, how to actually install it, what you can do with it, and so much more. So with that thought, let's get right into the video as we go more further into exploring what AutoGen is about. Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video at the world of AI. Now, I've seen this many times throughout these past few weeks, but this is something that is quite remarkable as to what Microsoft was actually able to release. AutoGen is basically a sophisticated framework which is designed to streamline and simplify the management of workflows that involves large language models. You're able to have different types of workflows that are interactive, demanding, and require significant expertise to design, implement, and optimize effectively. You're able to allow yourself as well as other developers to increase and explore these complex applications while allowing yourself to customize it for the need of automation. You're able to basically have these capabilities within this framework, which is a solution to this challenge in which you have to provide a platform for orchestrating, optimizing, as well as automating large language models. It eases this whole functionality with this new application, and this is something that we're going to take a look at throughout today's video. If you guys would like to access our private Discord in which you can get amazing news, partnerships, collaboration, get subscriptions to different AI tools, I highly recommend that you check out the World of AI Patreon page with the link in the description below. If you guys haven't followed World of AI on Twitter, I highly recommend that you do so, as you can stay up to date with the latest AI news over here. Lastly, make sure you guys subscribe, turn notification bell, like this video, and check out our previous videos as we're going to be uploading every single day on this channel. I'm just happy to be back, guys, so definitely stay tuned, and with that thought, let's get right back into the video. Now, on their blog post, they have even stated that it requires a lot of effort and expertise to design, implement, and optimize these different types of workflows that leverage the full potential of large language models. So what they have done is that they have released AutoGen, and it basically automates these workflows, and it saves so much time, reduces a lot of errors, and focuses on higher level tasks. But basically, in the gist of explaining this, AutoGen serves as a framework that simplifies the orchestration, optimization, and the automation of large language model workflows. This is quite amazing, as we will take a look later on in the video as to what the true potential of AutoGen is. You might be seeing a lot of buzz around the internet as to why this is such an amazing application compared to many of these other autonomous AI agents, because of the ability it has to automate and simplify the orchestration of large language model workflows, because it provides customizable as well as conversable agents that maximize the advanced LLM capabilities such as GPT-4, as well as many of the open source large language models that are out there. And it's able to do this by overcoming their limitations through this integration with humans, as well as other tools and APIs that could be plugged in to this actual application. And what this does is that it enables this automated chat-based conversation amongst these multiple different types of agents, which we'll explain in the next step of this video. But the thing is, many of these other autonomous AI agent applications cannot actually do this, as we'll take this look and later on in the video in basically demonstrating what AutoGen is actually capable of doing compared to many of these other autonomous AI apps. So with this thought, let's get to the next step of the video and explain this figure over here. Now, in this figure over here, they have basically stated that it illustrates how AutoGen facilitates the complex workflow, as it's able to do this by using this multi-agent conversation. We have the agent customization, which basically means that the AutoGen framework is depicted of highlighting its customizable agents, in which you're able to have the agents be based on various different types of entities, including like different types of large language models that could be incorporated with AutoGen. You have different tools that could be incorporated. You have different languages, as well as incorporating a human intervention with the combination of all these different types of elements. And this basically signifies the versatility that allows you to create agents with the best fit of your workflow need. Next, you have the multi-agent conversation, and this is basically where agents are shown to be engaging in conversations to collaboratively solve projects or different types of tasks. Now, this ability for these agents is to converse with one another in different types of key features, which enables them to work together effectively. You then have the flexible conversation pattern, and this is where it emphasizes of the supports that many additional complex conversation patterns are. You have the joint chat as well as the hierarchy chat, and this is basically the flexibility that is essential for managing these different types of large language model based workflows, and is basically accommodating various conversation structures as well as the interactions that meet your specific workflow requirements. And you can see that this is what brings, as well as showcases, how AutoGen empowers users to basically design as well as orchestrating these interactive workflows involving these multi-agent conversations, which gives you so much more customization as well as adaptability. Now let's get to the next step of the video, where I'll showcase how you can install this. To install AutoGen, there's many different methods in doing so. You can do it through installing it off your local desktop, accessing it off of Google Colab, as well as through Docker. Now, the fairly easy way of installing this is through Google Colab, in which you can just access it off the Google Cloud, and it's something that you can definitely take a look at. But these are just notebook examples in which they have uploaded, and this is something that we'll take a look at later on in the video. But in this case, you're able to generate as well as utilize these notebooks to play around, as well as start getting a feel as to what you can do with AutoGen off the Google Colab. And this is a great way for people who do not have the right hardware to run AutoGen. So this is a great way for you to actually get a feel as to what you can do with AutoGen off of Google Colab. Now, the next method is installing it through Docker, and they basically said that we strongly recommend using Docker for code execution or running AutoGen in Docker containers. And this is for when developing in GitHub spaces, the AutoGen runs in Docker containers. So they have an easy way of doing this. You just need to install the Python packages, go on to pip install Docker. It's fairly easy to install. I highly recommend that you install it for the processors that you want. It is going to take a little bit longer to do so, but it's fairly easy to install the containers. Once you have Docker installed, it's just a one-click installer. You can load it up off of Docker. Now, this is not the method I'm going to be showcasing, as it's going to take a little bit longer to do so, but I'm going to be showcasing how to do it through installing it locally on our desktop. So let's get to that. Now, to install this on your local desktop, you're going to need a couple of requirements to be fulfilled. Firstly, you're going to need to have Git installed. This is going to be helping you clone this repository onto your desktop. Secondly, you will need Visual Studio Code. This is their code editor in which you're going to be playing around with the actual AutoGen application. Lastly, you'll need Python as your language. So once you have these three fulfilled, by installing it, we'll get to the next step. Quickly, I want to just mention the easiest way to actually start playing with this is also through opening up AutoGen off of GitHub code spaces. You just need to click on this, go on to this page, create the code space by clicking create new code space. What this will do is start setting up your code base with AutoGen, and it's going to start connecting it, building the containers, as well as unpacking the files of AutoGen. What you'll then need to do is copy this code over here, sample into this notebook folder, and name it OAI config list instead of the sample, and then you set the correct configuration, and then you can start playing around with it in your notebook. It's fairly easy. It'll take a couple of seconds to actually load this up. So once this is done, you can start playing around with it right over here. So what you want to do first is open up your command prompt. Now what you want to do is, after you open this up, you simply want to go up, scroll up. Sorry, my computer is lagging a little bit, but copy this green button, click on this green button, click on the local, copy this link over here, scroll back down onto the installation file area, and what you want to do is open up command prompt again, type in git clone, and paste this link over here. Now this will start cloning this repository onto your desktop. It's quite a big file, so it might take a couple of seconds, but once this is done, I'll be right back. Once that is done, you just simply need to type in cd, go into the AutoGen file, which is by typing in AutoGen, click enter, copy this command over here, pip install AutoGen, and what you want to do is paste it over here and click enter. This will start installing the dependencies, unpacking it, as well as working on the configurations of AutoGen. This is going to take a couple minutes, guys, because this is a quite big file, and it's gonna require you to take some time to install all the packages properly. So definitely stay on this tab over here. Oh, it actually finished quite quickly, but it has fully installed AutoGen now, and you can start playing around with it in Visual Studio Code or your command prompt, which I'll take a look at right now. You just need to open up Visual Studio Code, open this up over here. Once you have this opened up, you can basically minimize this. I don't have any folders, just gonna tweak this over here. Now what I want to do next is open the folder, and you want to find where you had basically unpacked it or cloned it. So in this case, I need to find the AutoGen file, which is right over here. Select this folder, and now we can trust this authors at your own discretion. Now what you need to do first is implement your API key so you can start utilizing this, but this is something that I'll take a look at in the next step of the video. Now in terms of implementing your own API key, it's fairly easy to do so. They have a memo as to how you can implement this, but the thing is, guys, this project or this application is so intricate that it is able to do so much. You have code execution, you have an open interpreter, you have your own copilot with this. You can do so much with this that it would require me a full-on, like, multiple videos to explain how you can utilize this and how you can implement certain types of things. So in this case of this video, I'm just going to showcase the examples that they have on the notebook and how you can execute this. So if you go in the notebook tab, you can see that there's multiple different types of already made templates from Microsoft. And you can see over here you have the auto-generated agent chat, which is used to help solve different types of code generation, execution, and debugging. You have something that has been made for chests, as well as many other different types of functions. Now what I want to showcase is that if you do want to create your own project and implement this somewhere else, you want to start off by creating a new file, name it as app.py. Now once you have this created, what you need to do now is configure it so that it can have the different endpoints connected. And this is something that we've seen with many of the different types of templates over here. You can basically copy these API endpoints. They have a configuration list from the JSON file, which loads different types of configurations and different endpoints, as well as how it showcases you to incorporate different environments within your application. Now this is something that I highly recommend that you take a look at with their multi-agent conversation framework, as well as their documentation, because they give you a good representation as to how you can develop the code for different types of agents that you want to use, as well as incorporating different types of plugins, applications, as well as where human intervention can be implemented. Now, this is all on the documentation as to how you can create these agents. So if you're interested, I highly recommend that you read through this properly before you start. But if you want a good example as to how you can create your own agent, you can definitely take a look at the different types of documents as well as examples that Microsoft has actually created. You can copy the code, implement it into your own basic app. Now in this case, they have the configuration for OpenAI's GPT-4 model, so you can just copy this configuration list and you can input your API keys in the required areas. In this case, they also require you to input the Azure OpenAI API key, so you can input that over here if you're going to be utilizing that large language model. Once you have done that, you can then work on the next tab, which is creating whatever type of project that you want. Now, this is how you can install not OpenAI, but agent AutoGen, and it's fairly easy. So I highly recommend that you play around with this. Now let's get to the next step of the video where we showcase some of the cool features of AutoGen by taking a look at some of the templates that are already made. As we mentioned previously, AutoGen has the capability to be powered by LLMs, different types of tools, humans, and it can be used to basically do so much more with its configurations. And this is something that we'll take a look at in the next step of this video. We mentioned that it has the implementation of a code interpreter that can execute various types of code autonomously. You have various autonomous AI agents working together to complete various different tasks, and this is what makes it to become such a powerful and a godly type of autonomous multi-AI agent, which is surpassing so many other types of AI agents that are out there, such as Super AGI, AutoGPT, Baby AGI, as they do not have the customizable features that AutoGen actually has, and this is why it surpasses it by a large feat. Now let's just take an example as to what you can actually do with some of these notebook examples that they have created. For example, they have the automated task solving with code generation, execution, and debugging. So in this case, you can open this up onto the notebook. In this case, you can also open it up straight to your Google Colab. Now I'm going to close this last one, have this opened up. By the way, guys, I'll leave all those links in the description below. In this case, you have the auto-generated agent chat, which is used for task solving with code generation, execution, and debugging. They state that AutoGen offers conversible LLM agents, which can be used to solve various tasks with human or automatic feedback, including tasks that require using tools via code. Now, they also mentioned that please find the documentation about this feature later. Now, they mentioned that in this notebook, we demonstrate how to use assistant agent and user proxy agent to write the code and execute it over here. They mentioned that assistant agent is an LLM based agent that can write Python code in Python coding block. And the user proxy agent is an agent that serves as a proxy for the human user to execute code written by the assistant agent. And this is what we see with the multi-agent conversation framework. You are working with the agent to help execute different types of code. Now they have different types of criterias. We see that there's the 3 criterias that we mentioned before. You have the multi-agent conversation where you work alongside with the agent to create and execute certain types of tasks. So in this case, we're going to be using this type of code to help us execute. So in this case, you want to start off by installing the requirements, and that's fairly easy. You just need to connect, open this up in code. Once I have this done, I actually already did that, connect it to your cloud. Once this is done, I highly recommend that you copy this into your drive. In terms of runtime, change the runtime to the best hardware accelerator that you have available. Once you have done that, you can click save. Now what you want to do is start off by installing the Python packages that are required. Once this is done, you need to input the model that you're going to be using. So in this case, if you're using GPT-4, you specify that you're going to be using this and input the API key that is required. So you just need to quickly run that once that is inputted. Now in this case, they have this example where they check the stock price changes. So they mentioned that in this example below. Let's see how to use the agent in AutoGen to write Python code the script to execute the script. This process involves constructing an assistant agent to serve as the assistant alongside with the user proxy agent that acts as the proxy for the human user. So in this example they demonstrated below, when constructing the user proxy agent, we select the human input mode to never. This means that the user proxy agent will basically utilize the feedback and it won't stop relying and defining what it should do further. So what we can see over here is that they created this assistant, they named it the assistant, and they're going to be searching for the stock prices. Now we go down a little bit later, it says what is the date today, compare the year to end date gain for the Meta stock as well as the Tesla stock, and it asks this to the assistant. The user proxy is the human, the mode that they had set for the human intervention with the multi-agents. The assistant is going to be finding and solving this. So in this case, it works through different types of steps to solve this. It first starts off by getting today's date, it fetches the stock prices, it then installs the different types of packages that are needed to chart it. It showcases it, like showcases how to actually install and showcase the chart off of Python, which is very useful. In this case they have an error, and what it actually does is that with this error it then works towards finding a solution for that error, and then it provides to give you a solution that helps you solve this error. And if you scroll down a little bit, it then gives you the execution of the stock prices as well as the gain for both of the stocks with the year to date. So this is very cool as to how it gives you a solution, as well as how you can have a human intervention chat with the actual assistant to give you the solution. Now they also have many other examples. It showcases plot the chart, and we see over here it plots the 2 year-to-date stock price changes for Meta as well as for Tesla. And this is something that is very cool, very intricate, and it gives you a lot more customizable features compared to many of these other multi-agents that are out there. Now this is just the start, guys. This is just one example. They have many other different types of ranges as well as categories in which they have incorporated AutoGen within, and it just shows that there's so much more that could be done with this. So I highly recommend that you check this out. Definitely take a look at this with the link in the description below. Now let's lastly just go over the blog post and go over some of the small details that I missed previously. So we can see over here with AutoGen, you're able to create complex multi-agents, which we talked about, and it's a conversation system that is made easy. You first define the group of agents that you're going to be working with, each with its own unique abilities and roles. Then you basically specify how these agents should talk to each other, including how they should respond with one agent in which it gets a message from another. These steps are basically straightforward and it's modular, and we can see that they demonstrate how it works. It means that you're able to reuse and combine these agents for different tasks. For instance, if you're trying to create a system for answering code questions, you can design the agents for their interactions like you see in this figure over here. You're able to take this approach, which significantly reduces the need for manual interactions, which decreases the effort for required. That is required by more than 4 times, which they stated over here. And this is something that brings more efficiency for you. So this is one approach that they showcase as to how you can configure and use these different types of agents. Now in conclusion, guys, AutoGen is something that is quite powerful and versatile with its framework, as it simplifies the management of many different types of customizable as well as conversable agents that are out there, in which it gives you a lot of flexibility as well as a lot of customization to help you improve whatever application that you're trying to incorporate with AutoGen. So I highly recommend that you check this out. If you want me to create a more detailed video as to how you can install this as well as use these multi agents, I highly recommend that you paste a comment in the description below so that I can get a gist as to what you want me to create in terms of utilizing AutoGen to do so. So if you are interested in that, leave a comment and I can definitely create a video on this further down in the week. And that's basically it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was a long video, but it's such an amazing app that in which you can do so much with. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely leave a comment if you want to see more with AutoGen. I'll leave all the links in the description below. If you guys haven't already, make sure you follow the Patreon page so you can access our private Discord. If you guys haven't followed World of AI on Twitter, I highly recommend that you do so you can stay up to date with the latest AI news. And lastly, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on the notification bell, subscribe, check out our previous videos so you can stay up to date with the latest AI news. And that's basically it for today's video, guys. Have an amazing day, spread positivity, and I'll see you guys fairly shortly. Peace out, fellas.